warm and a little humid as well.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be a little bit of a change. We haven't had to talk about that, I feel like, in forever because it's, well, been winter. It's cold here in Northeast Ohio. Let's walk you through some of the bigger changes that are working back in. If you've stepped out at all this evening, you've noticed it's been a very slow drop in our temperatures. It's going to get even slower here once a warm front rolls through, and it's basically going to halt that temperature from falling too much more. That arrives overnight. With it will come some better opportunities for rain. We've already seen some scattered showers west, but we'll see that become a bit more widespread overnight. And then we're just monitoring this daily rain chance as these mild temperatures stick around to wrap up the month and head into the early part of this next month. So keep that in mind. We're not necessarily talking about a completely rain-free next 7 days, but it's not going to be a washout each and every one of those days. Think of your very typical summer-like pattern here across Northeast Ohio. Downtown right now just shy of 70 degrees. Southeast wind now starting to take over, so that's helping to pull in some of these warmer temperatures. Hopkins currently at 66, and there's that warm front that we're going to be watching later tonight. It will be the focus for additional rain chances and some heavier rainfall at times, and I wouldn't be surprised if it helps us see a couple rumbles of thunder in the mix as well. But right now, most of this is just very light activity that's been working through areas, say, west of I-77 this evening. Overall, has not been rain for everybody. Many of you have been able to get out and about this evening without having to worry about having any of that rain gear close by. Temperatures across the area: Mansfield 62, Worcester 63, Akron, you're also at 62 degrees. So Cleveland, one of our warmer spots as of right now. As we head into the overnight, we'll all see that temperature fall anywhere between the upper 50s to lower 60s. But you can start to see that rain chance working back in as we get your Saturday started. How much this rain will impact your weekend forecast? We'll walk you through those new details coming up. For some. In Cleveland, we saw our first 80-degree day April 14th. So it's been almost 15-ish days since we've seen it, but it was only 80 degrees. I think we're going to surpass that as we head into the weekend. So this will be some of the warmest air that we've seen so far for 2024. If you like the warmer weather and you've been waiting for spring to just kind of stick around for more than, say, 2-3 days, you have an opportunity to enjoy that as we do track a little bit more of this warmth starting to work in. And need I mention something else that we have not said much so far this year, for good reason? It's that muggy meter. We're actually going to see a little bit more of this humidity climbing in as those dew points, or how we measure the moisture in the atmosphere, slowly start to climb into the 60s. Why is this important? Well, sure, if you step outside, you're going to notice there's a little bit more of that sticky feeling to the air. But what it also does is helps to fuel better opportunities for hit or miss showers and thunderstorms. It gives the energy a little bit more of that fuel to work with. So keep that in mind. The next couple of days, yeah, there's a rain chance present each and every one of them, but it doesn't mean we're talking about a washout. Tomorrow, though, the morning does look to be a little bit more on the soggy side, so maybe not necessarily ideal for some of that yard work that you've kind of put off for a little bit. Maybe the lawn is getting a little bit taller. You'll have some time to get to it, but you may not want to get out and about until you get into the later part of the afternoon. Temperatures by this point will be in the 70s with that UV index at 6. You got to make sure you're wearing that sunscreen, but do know that you will start to see things drying out at least a little bit. There are a couple more opportunities for rain. You can see some of that light showery activity working in now, some heavier showers just west of the Toledo area, but most of the rain that we're going to see return early tomorrow morning, all right there. That's this next batch that we're going to see returning to our area. Thankfully, the severe weather, like what we've seen play out over parts of the west, or in part of, I would say, the Midwest region, is going to hold off for at least a little while. But we may have some of that activity to contend with by the time we get into Monday, because temperatures are still going to be warm. We're still going to have a lot of that mugginess in the air, and we're also going to have a front coming through. All three things combined usually gives us this time of the year at least some chance that we could see some strong to severe storms, and then we will likely see just that daily rain opportunity on the backside of that system. Let's time out the rain chances for tonight and head it into tomorrow, because we have seen a lot of new data coming in, and it does support this better chance for rain as we climb into the early hours of your Saturday. Now, for the most part, this is just rain. A lot of it could be a little bit heavier at times, especially if you find yourself under one of those pockets. But you notice a little bit of that orange, a little bit of that yellow mixing in. Could be a clap of thunder or two to get your day started. That's all coming with that warm front. And certainly, you're going to see the warmer temperatures first thing tomorrow morning. Wouldn't be surprised if we still had a few more scattered showers and storms early in the day, but then activity does become a bit more spotty through the afternoon. So like we said, it's not necessarily going to be a washout. At times, we may be tracking a bit more of that rain, and I do think between Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow, it's going to likely feature at least a little bit more coverage across our area. But once we get into tomorrow evening, we lose that heat, we lose that energy to keep this activity rolling through the overnight. And so most of us will sit pretty quiet headed into early Sunday. And most of Sunday, in fact, does look to be on the dry side. It's that late afternoon time frame. We'll watch for a stray shower or thunderstorm to develop. Same can be generally said for Monday, though then we're watching that cold front coming in during the afternoon. It will give us that more widely scattered opportunity for showers and storms, but the temperature reset on the backside of the system, not terrible. We're resetting to 70s and 60s, which is a bit more seasonable for this time of the year. But with this more active pattern,